Hi, today I'm drinking out of this boy. It is just water with wormwood in it to clear my digestive system and because it's hot as hell over here. So, global warming. Anyway, today we're going to talk about the agave spirit. This is a little drink I made for it in case you're interested. I will post a video for that cocktail. It's kind of like a chocolate covered strawberry espresso drink. It is on the sweet side, but whatever. Anyway, yes, I'm gonna kind of go over the mythology just really quickly, and then we'll dive into the conversation. Alright, so I'm gonna be leaving a video that I watched in terms of it's just going over kind of like the agave spirit, like literally tequila, mezcal. It's more mezcal focused, but I think they do a good job of talking to like small business, like indigenous, owned companies, and just kind of how they respect the actual agave spirit. It's not just like some American owned company in Mexico, pumping out as much mezcal as they can. They're actually trying to like respect the spirit, the plant, and like the land, and it's just really lovely. I saw a comment on there that was talking about how they were a scientist who was surprised that they were growing the agave from the seeds, because that helps it fend off against disease, that helps it evolve. But they didn't do that to bananas, and now that's why bananas are kind of dying right now. Because they don't have time to regrow as they naturally should, and they don't have time to learn to fend off against those diseases. But yeah, so the person they were interviewing was talking about how that was really important to her. It's just really cool. I'll leave it in the description. But essentially the mythology, just like a quick run through. A goddess named Mayawel. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Mayawel, that's how I'm gonna say it. Basically, she lives in the sky, and she wants to come down to Earth to explore. And her grandmother, some people say it's the grandmother herself. I believe she's the wind god. Some people say it's like the grandmother and her three sisters. The Mayawel's three sisters, not the grandmothers. Basically, they start searching for her and they can't find her, and so they go to the earth. And her and Quetzalcoatl, or Kukulkan in Mayan traditions, they were basically lovers, and they turned into a tree together. But then the grandmother, when she finally found her, she basically destroyed the tree. Some people say that the sisters, cut it down on the grandmother's orders. Some people say that the grandmother was so enraged that she formed a storm, and the storm's, electricity shot it down. Some people say that, it burned it down. Some people say that the storm was throwing so many things around that the grandma was just taking anything she could to throw at the tree. But essentially, the tree is destroyed. The branch that Quetzalcoatl occupied was saved. They kind of didn't realize, or they didn't notice it when they were chopping it down, so they basically killed their sister. And Quetzalcoatl, who was in a branch, was kind of off to the side, and so he, when it was all said and done, he returned to his god form or man form. I don't want to say man because he's not a man, but you know what I mean. And he goes to gather her remains, and he buries them, and then he cries over them, and his tears water her remains, and that's where the agave spirit, or the agave plant, is said to have come. So it's a story about love and apparently a grandmother flipping out, but yeah, there's other things, like if you guys are familiar with the agave plant, it has like a heart, which is usually what they harvest for you know, alcohol spirits, and it's also what they kind of like where they get the agave nectar from. So the heart of the plant is protected by all these leaves, and sometimes you see the thorns on the side of those leaves. They'll be colored in red, and so that's said to be basically like the blood to remind you of the sacrifice of Mayahuel. But yeah, it's also it's really protective, which we'll get into right now. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. Okay. So again, I meditate and then I try to get first impressions. I didn't get very many, but I did get like a feeling in my chest, which is kind of like the heart. If you know you're comfortable calling it the heart chakra, then you can call it that, but basically the energy in like your heart area. And then My Heart by Paramore started playing, and in my mind, obviously. And it was the end of it where she just says, "My heart, it beats for only you," and then it says, "My heart is yours," and it just keeps going over and over. And I don't know, it kind of made me think of the love story, but yeah, I think it's very heart focused. I don't know if I'm comfortable saying heart chakra, but you know what I mean. The energies of heart and love, and you know, the reverse of that being grief. And there is grief in the story as well, but yeah, just energies of your heart. And then, so the first thing I ask is to describe itself. We got all reversals. We got the coin, the Ace of Coins, the Three of Wands, and the Ace of Wands, all in reverse. So basically, to me, that's kind of like protectiveness, because a lot of this energy is about playing it safe, or about, you know, like, oh, I want to take this financial, like, kind of like a leap of faith, but then it's in reverse, so it's kind of like, I don't really want to. And then same with the Ace of Wands, which is kind of like ideas, but not really going out and doing it. And then we have the Three of Wands, which is again like planning and then like not doing it. But I was like, obviously a plant spirit isn't sitting here and planning things and then not following through. That's not what's going on. So I kind of took it to mean like a protectiveness of playing it safe, protecting the heart, protecting your finances. Again, with the bloody spikes that I was talking about. This isn't an agave plant. It's not even a real plant, but you know what I mean? Like on the edges, there's little spikes on the agave. And so, yeah, just like that came into my head of like this protectiveness over yourself, even if that's about playing it safe. And then we have the Page of Wands, the Four of Wands, and then the Seven of Cups in reverse. And this question is, what are you here to teach me? This is me specifically, but I like sharing this just in case anyone else wants to work with this spirit and take something from that. We got the Page of Wands, the Four of Wands, and then the Seven of Cups in reverse. So to me, it was like, don't get overwhelmed when you come across a choice or an idea. Listen to your inner wisdom or your inner heart. It still told me to listen to others, to not just like, I don't know. I feel like plant spirits, and I've said this before, they're very, very focused on like building community and building systems and how you can help the collective and how the collective can help you. So yeah, they were still like, don't just like listen to yourself completely and ignore others. Like, it's still important that you listen to what other people have to say. And then also like with the Four of Wands, basically telling me to have joyful celebrations about the smaller milestones. I think it's very easy to get caught up in the bigger picture of things, and you forget like all the small things you've done. So yeah, just remember to celebrate, to look back on what you've done and to be proud of that, even if it's not your finish line. It's still important to acknowledge the small milestones. Then we have the Three of, when to call on you. We have the Three of Pentacles in reverse, we have the Eight of Cups in reverse, and then we have the Devil card. So to me, I asked it and it said it was a cleanser and a banisher, which is interesting. I don't think people like burn agave to cleanse their house or anything, but it said that it was, and it would like to be called upon when you're trying to get rid of something or someone in your life that is causing you disharmony. The agave spirit was very straightforward. There really wasn't anything else to this message. If you guys feel like taking more from that message, you know, those cards, you can totally do that. Maybe that's a specific message that the spirit wants to give you, but for me personally, when I asked it with the pendulum, it was like, nope, that's it. That's pretty much it. And I'm like, cool. Very straightforward. And then the final question is, what would you like the world to know? And we got the Six of Swords, Strength, and then the Two of Blades, or Swords. Sorry, that always trips me up. I'm like, blades, and then I'm like, swords, or like wands and rods. It's silly goose time over here. But anyway, what would you like the world to know? Basically that you have the strength to walk away and to make difficult decisions. And that's pretty much it. But I think that's kind of lovely when you think about, you know, the Aztec mythology of like, she wanted to leave the sky to come to Earth, and she did. You have the strength to walk away from anything that's causing you trouble, especially with the Two of Blades, just kind of like impasses and feeling unsure. But you know, the Six of Wands is about moving away from a tumultuous situation into something peaceful. So even if you feel like scared, or like, you know, that's not yeah, like, it's basically telling you that you have the strength to walk away, even if you feel like you don't, or if you feel scared. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward. I hope that was helpful. Check out the cocktail if just for shits and giggles, but yeah, thank you to the Agave spirit, or the Maguey spirit, depending on what you want to call it. I hope that was helpful. See you in the next one.